Hello, my name is Sue. It is Tuesday. I'm one of the hosts here at PotterCast, and this week we are going to talk and celebrate the National Greeting Card Week. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's love, love, love is all you need. That's right. It's the week of Valentine's, that time when traditionally you're supposed to go out and, spend a lot of money, or maybe not, and just take time out and tell someone you love them. I am not a particularly big fan of Valentine's Day per se, in the sense that I don't feel the need to be told specifically I must go tell someone I love them, because I tell the people that I love them all the time. At least I try to. And anyway, so I don't know. But I'm not anti-Valentine's Day. It just seems to me to be so a little bit overdone. But anyway, it got me thinking, because I was talking to one of my friends who loves Valentine's in particular, that they are coming up on their 10th wedding anniversary, and and it got me thinking about weddings, and and it was my turn for the question of the week, and so I came up with the question of, in the epilogue that we learned in Deathly Hallows, what wedding would you like to know about, and what of the couples that we learned about? Ooh, before I go any further, be warned, spoilers are contained within. Do not freak out, do not panic. Turn the channel, press stop if you don't want to hear anything, because there's going to be a lot of spoilers about a couple different things, movies and books. Okay, just saying. And then people are going to say, oh, Sue, we know. Let me guess. What could it be? Would it be Neville and Hannah? Ding! That could be correct. But, it'd be really cool to learn about Harry and Ginny's wedding, I think. I'd like to learn a little bit more. You kind of wonder, were all the Weasleys there? And, who was his best man? Was Ron his best man? That kind of thing. Do they have that kind of thing at Wizard weddings? I don't know. It'd be kind of cool. But I really would also like to learn more. And we learned this from Joe specifically about, although we saw briefly that Draco was standing there with a woman. Oh, wow. Draco, what happened to him, man? Did he actually find love, or was it a thing that, the Malfoys, were they trying to desperately rebuild their honor or stature, back in the Wizard Society? Man, look at Lucius, man. What a fall from grace he had. Shoo-wee. I'd really, really like to know what happened to that Malfoy family after, and I find that whole thing. And so, what kind of job is Draco have? Who's going to hire him? Don't you think it's really interesting? For me, it is. And it's not so much that I'm a Draco fan, is that I want to know more about what exactly happened to Lucius and his family, and how Draco came to the point that he ended up, was he what happened to him? I think his story is very, very interesting, because he had an incredible storyline there in book 7, and especially Lucius, what an incredible fall from grace he had. Man, what a revelation that must have been. A shock to him was that the whole life he had been living, his dedication, his servitude to Lord Voldemort had been just for nothing. Because at the end Voldemort treated him as badly as everybody else. And what happened to the Malfoys? And I just find that really, really interesting. And I like to know. What do Slytherins? Do they have a special kind of wedding? I don't know. And I'm kind of betting though that Hannah and Neville had a really lot of good butterbeer at their wedding. Do you suppose that they have Hufflepuff ale? So that got me thinking about the epilogues, and speaking of the epilogues, a lot of us were all in our fandom. We're kind of debating back and forth on whether or not we really liked the epilogue or not. For me, it wasn't so much that I really didn't like it. My objection to it was the writing style, not so much the content. And for me too was all was well is really great, but do we always need to know the happily ever after? Do we always need to know that? Sometimes there's a clear distinction between a resolution to a book or a movie, and then they lived happily ever after, and we don't need to wonder anymore. At this time of year, it's also the 31 Days of Oscar, as it were, getting ready to have our Oscars celebration of film, and so a lot of this channels will rebroadcast some of the really, really great films, especially some of the romantic comedies and romantic films I really like. I particularly enjoy the films of old, like Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant were so romantic. I just really like that kind of, that witty repartee, the dialogue between them could be so sexy and funny at the same time that you don't really need to show them rolling in the hay all the time, I wish they made more movies like that too. But one of my most favorite films of of late, I guess. Although it's been, I don't know, about 10 years ago maybe. I'm not really sure when it came out. Was Lost in Translation. Did you see that? Spoiler! Spoiler! That was a romantic comedy, and I really liked it. Because for me the great scene wasn't what happened, what he whispered in her ear, and how it ended, but was just the fact that they kissed. And so for me, I mean, did they live happily ever after? It's one thing we'll never really know. And I kind of like that ambiguity. You don't really quite know, and it's you know, love is the eternal mystery, even in the Department of Mysteries. So here's my thought for you. What do you guys think about the epilogue? Were you happy with it? I mean, it's a continuing debate. I'd like to hear you guys weigh on it. Obviously, we all like to know more about Potter. I mean, for me personally, I'd rather know more about like prequel style, if that makes any sense, than epilogue. I'm really interested in the Marauders backstory, and particularly the 4 founders. So I hope Joe gives us more of that. But of course, we want more. I mean, Potter fans, we're obsessive, right? Give it to us, Joe. But I'd just like to know what you thought about this epilogue. Were you satisfied? Was it good for you? Was it good for you, baby? I'm sorry. Okay. On that thought, I better be quiet and move along. All right. You guys have a great week. And if you're celebrating Valentine's, mwah, and hug the one you're with. Have a great week. Bye.